Hey everybody, it is Maureen and Rob, aka the Stromads, your tequila tasting nomads. And tonight we have an extra special show. We are coming to you from Quartzite, Arizona.
Quartzite is not close to anything. It's out here in the Arizona desert.
In the proverbial middle of the desert.
We're about 100 miles west of Phoenix, 70 miles north of Yuma. And we are out here with, those aren't coyotes in the background. Those are actually our friends howling. We're out here with about 50 or 80. Well, it depends on what day it is. Some days it's 50, some days it's 80. And it will go up to 1 million here in a few weeks. Quartzite is an RVer's mecca. It's on Bureau of Land Management land, which is government land that's owned by me and you and everybody else in the United States, and we're able to use it for free. This particular spot, we're able to stay for up to 14 days, and then we could just move across the street and stay another 14 days somewhere else. So there's all kinds of places that you can stay out here. Big land. It gets up to 1 million people in January, and it's a pretty exciting place. You can see the mountains in the background, and there's all kinds of things to do if you're a rock hound, or you have an ATV, or you want to go horseback riding, or you just want to do nothing.
Nothing wrong with that too. You can just sit here and watch the sky go. It's got a beautiful, amazing sunrise in the morning, and the sunset. There is nothing like the Arizona sky.
It's incredible.
So I do have to say, when you are out here and Rob says you can stay for free, you will not have any hookups. So you have to bring in your own water. If you have a solar on your RV, or you have to have a generator or something. The summertime, I think it gets up to like 128 out here. There was somebody that was telling us that, not anywhere I want to be. But right now, it's gorgeous. It's probably dropping down to the high 70s right now.
Yeah. So it's about 83 to 93. It has been the last days, and it'll drop down into the high 60s at night. As soon as the sun goes down, as it's coming down now, it starts to cool off. There's always, though, seems to be a nice breeze. If you get your RV positioned right, you've got some shade, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, we're totally digging it out here, and I think this will be a regular stop. You know, on the East Coast, we don't have anything like this. This is totally unfamiliar, and Rob and I are excited. So anyway, why don't we get talking about tequila, because that's why we all came here, right?
Yep, sure is. So we've got a Patron Extra Anejo, and Maureen has poured us a little bit. This was a gift from our #1 son that day, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Cheers.
Mikey.
We appreciate that. If you want to be our number 1 son, you know what to do. Bring tequila, and you'll be on the #1 son list that day. So we've got our Glencairn glasses out. We've got a little bit pouring here. We've got some nice amber aged color.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And we're going to swirl it around a little bit.
Oh,
give it a little bit of a sniff.
Caramel.
And the caramel, I think there's a little vanilla in there.
It smells really nice.
It really does.
It one of the things that I noticed, that it doesn't have a strong alcohol smell, but it doesn't have that sweet, like pancakey syrup. Patron is certified additive free, so everything you get in Patron is supposed to be there, so there's nothing phony about it. So the way that they cook it, the way that they make it, it brings out all of these natural, beautiful flavors. So I guess I will tell you, Tequila Matchmaker says the aroma, you are going to get cooked agave, oak, caramel, fruity, vanilla, and spice. I kind of get something I'm not really familiar with, so maybe that would be the fruity. I don't know.
I think it's, you know, there's definitely a little vanilla there, a little citrus on the top. It's got a nice, clean clean
smells
smell.
Beautiful. Yeah. It really does. And you know, we're going to go ahead and take a little sip of it. that first sip, which we already took like 5 times.
All right, so the party was started. It is started. Oh, it's got a nice smooth on the tongue.
Boy.
It rolls back.
Oh boy.
There is no heavy alcohol, no burn there. It's nice and smooth. I don't even sense any like peppery.
No, not at all. The flavors that Tequila Matchmaker say you're going to get oak, which it's oak, but it's not an overpowering oak. Agave, cooked agave, we love that. That's why we drink tequila. Whiskey, which I think I would agree with that. It has that whiskey. Caramel, vanilla, and apple. So I like
I've got
that.
no apple, but that smell, I believe, I would characterize that as herbal.
Yeah.
It's a little creamy, and
it's super fantastic. Now, Rob and I used to drink a lot of Patron back in the day, but we never went up to the Añejo or the Extra Anejo,
right,
which is what we are drinking now. We were familiar with just, I guess, is it silver maybe?
Yeah.
And that was before we did really any, I think we graduated from Jose Cuervo to Patron. So anyway, let's get on with some of the things that make Patron special.
Well, this particular Patron, the Extra Añejo, was the first new product they had released in 25 years. It was released in 2017.
Wow.
And it is, they had some short-term stuff, but this was a long-term, high production deal. So 25 years, Extra Añejo, aged 36 months.
Wow.
And
Wow.
American,
wonderful.
French, and Hungarian oak barrels. And the bottles are handcrafted, hand numbered, and they're cute, and obviously they're the brand. You always know what a Patron bottle looks like, no matter what's in it, and that's all part of the story that Patron really started out from a master marketer.
Right. I love this story, and I really I love the Patron brand. Just because it has such a great story, and I'm really loving this too. This will be something that we're going to want to have a little bit more. Maybe share some of this with Chaz when he joins us next week.
Yeah. So, this one though, it's got to be a gift bottle. So
yeah.
Somebody bring us another.
Yeah,
gift.
this is definitely a gift bottle.
It's a little on the
it's pricey.
Side. I think it's pushing $80.
Yeah. So the Tequila Matchmaker panel give this an 80. 80's pretty good with them. And the community gives it an 83, so they like it. Can't go wrong with Patron, and you can almost always find at least some sort of Patron in any bar you go to. It doesn't matter where, you're always going to find Patron. So should we do the story first, or should we talk about some of the other things?
No, go ahead, just talk about it, drink it.
Can you give me another one?
Okay.
So we talked a little bit about Patron back in one of our other videos, Siete Leguas. So Patron is what would you say, is a relative of Siete Leguas. That's where it had its very beginning, back in the day. So these two guys, you might have heard of them. John Paul DeJoria. You guys do know him, right? Did I say his last name? DeJoria?
I think that's close.
Paul Mitchell. So JP and his buddy, Martin Crowley. Good friends. Martin would go down to Mexico, loved tequila, loved everything about tequila, and he brought some back. He and JP would drink tequila and talk about it. Finally, I guess Martin was down there and he's like, look, JP, we have got to have our own brand. And of course, at this point, Paul Mitchell was already
very successful.
Very successful. He, you know, he was a master marketer, and you guys already know that whole story of how he made his salon products so successful. So anyway, JP and Martin went down, and he met up with Francisco Alcaraz. So Francisco Alcaraz, he was a consult, and he worked, I believe, specifically with Siete Leguas. Siete Leguas was the tequila brand. So Martin really fell in love with the way that Siete Leguas was run, the way they made their tequila. He tells JP, we've got to do this. So they asked Siete Leguas, hey, will you produce for us our own brand? They said no, however, we will let Francisco be your master distiller. And he then they split off, and I don't know if they went and they actually made their own distillery at that point, or they just kind of separated. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Francisco Alcaraz then birthed the brand of Patron. Now this is where it gets really fun. So JP, being the master marketer that he is, he brings Patron back to the United States, and he starts serving it at his parties with all his celebrity friends, and boom, 1989, the Patron wave hit, and it became just freaking off the hook, the sales. Everybody, you guys all know, back in the 90s, you were drinking Patron, weren't you? You're probably still drinking Patron. That's how good it is. So anyway, this was in 1989. In 2018, they sold the Patron brand to Bacardi for $5.1 billion. Can you imagine $5.1 billion?
A lot of agave plants.
What the heck? So anyway, I'm going to take another. So anyway, let me get back to the story. Francisco Alcaraz died this year in April of 2021. He has been with them since the beginning. He was a master distiller for over, I think, 30 years, I'm sorry. No, he was 30 years with the brand, and before that, he was with Siete Leguas. The man just devoted his life to making the very best tequila that he could, and I would say pretty freaking good. So anyway, he passed away this year, and there's a new guy in town, David Rodriguez. He is their new master distiller, but guess what? David Rodriguez did not just fall off the agave cart, so to speak. He shadowed Francisco for 18 years. He learned from the master himself. So we applaud that. We applaud Patron, and we've got a couple other cool things to tell you about it.
So hats off to Patron for a lot of reasons. You know, they really started way back. They started doing it right, and they continue to do it right. They do it with a Tahona and roller mill, and their distillation process is still right. And they are really committed to the sustainability of the tequila industry in a lot of different ways. One of the things they do is they have a basically a minimum price or minimum wage that they pay the employees and the people that they're involved with in the production, no matter whether it's a good year, a bad year, it's big production, small production. They make sure that there's a consistent wage out there for their workers to sustain the industry as well. They are really big in the community there with their food banks and stuff. They provide transportation back and forth to their employees. They also partner with the local university and encourage their employees to get educated and to move up, and they get discounted university for that. So there's a lot of support that they do there. They have a state-of-the-art water treatment system where they use the water for the agave, then they repurpose that 2 or 3 different times in different things that they do. They use it in their cooling towers, and then they use it to go out. They take the used agave and they mix the water with that, and it's a composting process. Right. And they also do that with 10 other distilleries. They have 10 other distilleries that come in, and they take all their waste agave and do the composting with it. And it's quite a process. It's not something that's a profit center, I would say. And then one other thing that I thought was really interesting in their commitment to the environment, their commitment there. And they've obviously, Patron, it seems it just keeps going and going and going and expanding. Well, in their expansion process, they needed to take over this piece of land that had 3,000 lime trees on it. Now, lime trees are part of what do you call that with the yeast and the fermentation? The fermentation, part of the citrus trees and things like that contribute to that. So instead of cutting down those trees, they actually transplanted 3,000 lime trees to a different location. Wow. So again,
that's pretty awesome.
Super good in a lot of things. They've got a natural gas pipeline, so that helps them reduce their carbon emissions and their CO2. So a lot of great things there with the Patron.
Yeah, they are a huge distributor, a huge producer, but I'll tell you, if you're out and about and you're looking for something and you're trying to find them a great bottle of tequila, something that everybody would know, I don't think anybody would be too harmed by this.
If you are bringing us a bottle, remember this red label here?
Red label,
red box, Patron Extra Anejo. No, if you bring it, we'll drink it.
Yeah, how about that? So I guess that's going to be it for tonight. We are going to watch this amazing sunset getting ready to happen from Quartzite, Arizona, and
we're the Stromads.
And we will see you on the next round.
Cheers.
Cheers. Whoop.